lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with a lot of this information that is out there. If this is your first time listening to this show, this is part of a bunch of stuff that I do out there from a content perspective. I do this daily live show. I also do some long form interviews on the Coffee with the Freight Coach podcast. So there's some different approaches that I take with this. And but most importantly, you guys, it's all brought to you by transportation professionals for transportation professionals. There is no theory on any of my content. There is nobody who's going to come on the show who thinks that they might do something in a certain manner. This is all brought to you by people who are active in the day-to-day, and they are out here to help put out information that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business, in your life. But before we get into any of that, got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, you guys, vhubapp.com. It doesn't matter if you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper alike. We all need access to trailers at some point in time. We need to, and right now, especially with costs rising up, I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning who's an owner operator, you should never have to shut your operation down if your truck is in the shop or your trailer's in the shop. Because right now, and the best part about with what they're working on is you can get paid to move these trailers for them. So what they got going, they got San Diego going out to Millbury, Ohio, and you get paid $600 to move that. That's on top of any freight that you can put in the back of that trailer. They also have Glade Spring, Virginia, going to Orting, Washington, and you get paid $1,550 to move that trailer. And then they also have Glade Spring, Virginia, going up to Delta, British Columbia. And if you have Canadian authority, you can get paid $1,850 US to do that. And again, you guys, that's on top of the revenue that you can get by putting and loading out freight in the back of that trailer. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Xavier Campos and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Hey, Zach Lonergan is in the audience already as well. Hit him up, you guys. Just do me a favor. Let him know that the Freight Coach sent you. All right. Extended holiday weekend. The comments are already going hard. Whitney Young, good morning to you. Let's get this party started. Good morning to you, LinkedIn user. I don't know why it's not allowing you to show yourself there. Rick Wooten, good morning to you. Thanks for joining. Stephen M. Peterson, good morning to you. Thanks for joining. April Maroney, go time. Let's fucking go. I hope you had a great holiday as well. Erica Hamilton, let's fucking go. Orange Shirt Gang. That's right, you guys. Stay Snable, what's going on? Happy Monday. Let's fucking go as well. Sunny Sharma, good fucking Monday morning. Let's fucking go. Orange Shirt Gang. And then my man, Zach, he's out there. Let's go. Let's get this week started. Holiday weekend. I hope you guys all enjoyed some time with your family, your loved ones. Hell, some of you were probably working all weekend. And because that's the fact that freight doesn't stop. And that is where you get in the door with a lot of your prospects. You get in there and it's on a holiday weekend. It's never in the ideal scenario that we all want it to be. But hell, if you're really about moving some freight for some people, get in there, move it in any way that you possibly can. We are up to day 166 of the Freight Coach Morning Show. We've done 166 of these bad boys. But it's also a subtle reminder that there's some real core fundamental issues that are out there in the industry. Like our drivers should never have to worry about if they can get a shower or food or anything like that. So again, you guys, I'm not talking about this stuff for likes and vanity metrics. I do this because I want to see actual meaningful change out there in the industry. Also, just a subtle reminder that the national average for diesel is at $5.23 a gallon. It's up $1.50 year over year, and it doesn't look like there is going to be any end in sight coming up here. But again, this is just, I get all this information from the EIA, you guys, EIA.gov. This is last week's fuel report because it comes out this afternoon. So I will obviously have it updated for tomorrow morning show that we're doing that. But yeah, I'm going to be powering through today's show. Excuse me. I'm going to be powering through today's show. I got a little bit of a head cold here, but again, I'm not going to take a play off. We got some stuff to talk about. Jeff, what's up, my man? Jeffrey Weiss, what's going on, brother? Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving as well, my man. Zach Williams, he's in the house. He's with SPI, you guys. If you guys want to become a freight agent, take control of your financial future, you guys should hit up Zach Williams with SPI Logistics. All right. Let's see here. Since this is a solo show, and that's just kind of what happens around the holidays, I want to be mindful of everybody's time and business because, I'm out here in the day-to-day. I'm growing my companies. I'm busy just like every single one of you guys are, and I appreciate you taking the time to come out and listen to all of this, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to not show up. I'm going to because putting this information out there is very, very imperative. All right. So we're going to do a little market report though. And with this being a solo show, and outbound Little Rock, Arkansas for flatbeds, we've got very tight capacity out there right now. There is 343 loads to 167 trucks. But what does that mean? That's a good thing for you drivers out there. If you're in the Little Rock, Arkansas market, and with a flatbed, there is more loads than there are trucks. So you know what that means. You have the bargaining power there. Also, out in Charlotte, North Carolina, inbound right now, exact opposite. There are more trucks than there are loads for flatbed right now. So again, you are going to have to kind of take what's out there, unless you're out there looking for a dedicated freight, dedicated business. That's where I would start right now. If I was an owner operator, I would try and get in and own my back door, in my backyard, and get in there and try and find some dedicated freight out of my hometown where my truck was located. Let's also pull up this same market, but for reefer trailers, because I know there's a lot of drivers out there who listen to this who pull reefers. If you're out in Little Rock, Arkansas right now, same thing. You got the power in that market, 700 trucks to 1,400 loads. So there you go. That's a welcoming sight that's out there. And then also, if we are talking outbound Charlotte, North Carolina, that one is all about the driver market for reefers right now, because they have about 1,100 trucks to 3,000 loads. So again, you got some bargaining power out there. All right, let's see here. We are going to get into a couple of articles. And again, I don't know if I'll make it the full 30 minutes today, you guys. Again, I'm not trying to take a play off or anything like that, but we're going to do our best to make it all 30 today. All right. First article we are going to break down is from the JOC. And this was written by my friend, Kathy Morrow Robertson. I met her out of the JOC event earlier this year in Chicago. And it's retailers bank on themselves to handle final mile. So I'm going to be honest. I have the very fortunate stance of knowing a lot of shippers out there. And all of my friends that work in retail have all said this, that they cannot find final mile options that are out there, reliable ones. So if you're a final mile provider out there and you're in retail and you do it, there is a lot of opportunity for you right now. So retailers are bringing management of last mile transportation legs in-house in an attempt to improve on-time delivery rates, customer experience levels, and costs. In recent earnings statements, multiple retailers, including Macy's and Home Depot, have noted their drive to either expand their own final mile capabilities or enable more buy online, pickup in store options for customers. The initiatives are an attempt to own the end customer experience, but also the acknowledgement that the cost of outsourced final mile delivery often consume an outsized proportion of retailers' margin on a sale. On-time delivery rates that dropped during the pandemic have on average improved, but weekend deliveries by UPS and FedEx are limited at a cost premium. FedEx, for instance, in September reduced the number of Sunday delivery service areas as a cost-cutting measure, and UPS does not deliver to all U.S. locations and only serves a small percentage of population on Sundays via partnerships with the U.S. Postal Service, and both charge a surcharge for the weekend. That's out there. And we've been on a journey to remove friction from our interconnected shopping experience. A VP, Executive Vice President of Merchandising at the Home Depot said, and that a third quarter earnings call in mid-November. A great example of this was our announcement in December of 2017 to own more of the appliance delivery end-to-end. And in the third quarter, we achieved an important milestone. We now have 100% of our appliance delivery volume managed through our own market delivery options. And this has significantly improved the customer experience, on time and complete deliveries that have increased meaningful. And let me see, customer satisfaction metrics as well. Yeah, I mean, we got that at our house. You know, we bought our washer and dryer from Home Depot, and it was fantastic. We got it all taken care of right through there. And again, it wasn't like a Home Depot person. So like there's an opportunity out there to get set up in the Home Depot system because I don't know if they outsourced it from there, and maybe this has changed since then. But again, like you guys, there's an opportunity out there as consumer purchasing power, purchasing patterns, has shifted in there. That's an opportunity for you to get in the door. Because again, it's like, look at that for a business example. Like you have some very large retailers talking about how there's an opportunity right there in the final mile sector of their business. So if you're going to be customer focused, customer service oriented in your approach, you got to get out there. You got to get out there and capture some of this business, because there is a ton of that. Because like the home delivery is not going to go away. I mean, you don't need to go into a store anymore to purchase most products. I mean, I'm old school. I'll always want to go in and check it out because I just like looking at things. When it comes down to it, I want to see what they look like and how it's going to operate and everything. But again, like there is a massive opportunity there. All right. And then Advanced Auto Parts deployed new delivery software to leverage the gig economy as well as its extensive vehicle fleets. And it enables them to improve delivery speed and consistency on the weekends when our customers are relying on this. And then it also goes in and talks about final mile cost jump during the pandemic. Last mile shipping have more than doubled during the pandemic as UPS and FedEx have become more selective around the types of volumes they move. Again, another opportunity if you're out there. If people are rejecting freight, if people are rejecting anything, there's an opportunity for you to get in the door and get some customers. Just like listen to this, you guys, because again, if these large retailers are having these issues, everybody else is as well. And if you're a final mile provider, or if you're a broker and you can handle final mile, this is a massive opportunity for you. Massive opportunity, because most people are dropping the ball with this. And then they continue to get smarter out there. And then semi-automatic mini DCs, totaling nearly 1 million square feet, allow us to reduce shipping costs and split shipments, better utilize inventory. Williams-Sonoma president and CEO Laura Albert cited that the retailer's initiative to enable shipping to stores across all of its brand was a way to maximize margin on inventory. For example, if you buy online at PB Kids and there's no PB Kids next to you, you can ship it to your local Williams-Sonoma store and go pick it up. It optimizes retail inventory. Again, another opportunity that's out there, you guys. Listen to all of this stuff, because if you're moving retail freight at all and your customers aren't offering what we just described right there, and they do have multiple brands, suggest it to them. Talk about a solid way for you to add value to your prospects and your customers as a whole, because that's what it's all about. What value are you truly adding to them? How can you help them? Because it's not always about the dollars and cents of the rate per mile, which some people love to beat the drum on. And it's clear and evident. Like, again, I'm never going to say price isn't a factor, because price is always going to be a factor, you guys. But the more value you add to a customer of yours, the less likely they're ever going to replace you. All right. I'm so guilty of this as a broker at times early on in my career, as I thought I was the best and nobody else out there, like they should be so lucky that I'm moving their freight. And that's just not the case at all. Every shipment is earned one at a time. It doesn't matter if you do 1,000 loads for somebody, and you got to continue to add value to that network no matter what. Do not take any opportunities for granted, especially with the market that we're operating in right now. And we're going to continue to operate in, you guys. This is normal. All right. If you think it's competitive now, it's going to get even more competitive here. All right. It's not just the name your price tool like it's been. You have to be very much aligned with how to operate in any freight market, because it's not just post it up, find a truck, provide a rate, and the customer accepts that rate. It's not the way it's going to be. You're going to have to dig deep into your bag of tricks to earn a lot of business here coming up in this next market cycle swing. And let me see here. All right. That article, you guys, joc.com, retailers bank on themselves to handle final mile. And Zach, injuries happen. We all know you're playing your heart out, Tanner. I appreciate that, bud. I wouldn't say that it's an injury per se, but I'm just a little sick. It happens to the best of us. But I got a bunch of cough drops and everything out there, and my wife is bringing me tea because I have the best wife on planet Earth. All right. Next article, second article. And then always, you guys, with every article that I break down, I put the links to these articles up on the Freight Coach YouTube channel. as well as the Coffee with the Freight Coach audio only podcast replay of this, which is on iTunes and Spotify. So, again, you guys, I want you to read a lot of these articles yourself. And if you're going to go over to those other platforms to listen to the replays and stuff, do your boy a solid. Subscribe and share this out. It helps with everything. It helps. It helps a lot. I'm not afraid to say it, and I appreciate that. All right, next article. Freight waves. Trucking industry slams FMCSA's proposed electronic ID. Carriers withhold support. Pre-pass warns of a wasted investment. A proposal, meant to revolutionize roadside inspection by requiring fleets and owner-operators to equip their trucks with a new electronic identification system was roundly rejected by the trucking industry. Thank God we don't need any more oversight. The advance notice of proposed rulemaking issued by the FMCSA was responded by a request by the CVSA, the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, contends that establishing a unique universal electronic vehicle identifier for all commercial motor vehicles would beyond boost safety by improving how roadside, like they have an ELD already. Like, why the fuck do they need another one? They don't need another one. As industry continues to grow and more people take to the roads, it's imperative that we leverage technology where possible. We don't need to track anybody even more than they already are. We already have tracking. They already have ELDs. You know where they all are. Make it happen that way. Like, drivers don't need another thing to fucking worry about. You want to improve safety? Reduce the amount of shit that they have to focus on when they're driving so they can actually drive. I think we should start with that, but what do I know? Of course, there is support from the Motor Vehicle Administrations and Safety Groups, the American Association of American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators. That's a fucking mouthful. Fully supports the petition. It agrees with the CVSA that wireless ID embedded in every truck would give law enforcement the ability to conduct fewer but more efficient traffic safety stops while allowing compliant trucks to bypass weigh stations and other roadside checks. No. Electronic IDs. We don't need any more of this shit. The Trucking Safety Coalition also backed the proposal, contending that it has for too long relied on an honor system. Electronic IDs help provide overdue transparency and accountability in monitoring the safety and compliance. No, we don't need this at all. Who's not what is this, a social credit system at this point? Because that's kind of what it seems like to me, is that this is just a way for people to target you if you had a couple of, maintenance issues, and then the DOT can pull up next to you and then fucking pull you over because you're not compliant enough. Again, we don't need any more of this shit. Trucking says no, thank God. And but the petition was roundly rejected with a majority of the 1,700 comments on the proposal. Most of the vehicle were owner-operators citing privacy concerns. Amen. Perhaps the most concerning aspect of this proposal is the FMCSA's failure to address the shortcomings and security risks associated with previous technology-based requirements, including ELDs. Shocker, said Todd Spencer, a president of OIDA, which represents, hey, you know what? I fucking agree with OIDA on something. There is a little to no recognition of the concerns of motor carriers, and the drivers have continuously expressed about privacy. Even the ATA and TCA, who normally support technology, declined to back the proposal. Good. Exactly. There are numerous questions about safety that's out there that must be addressed by the FMCSA before the ATA would offer its endorsement of this. And then the FMCSA should clearly determine if the concept of the universal ID would provide a safety benefit. And TCA President Jim Ward said its group is reluctant to support the petition without addressing issues around cybersecurity, data ownership, inspections, and policies. Again, I just don't see the need to do this because that's the whole point of an ELD. We don't need to do this anymore. We don't need it harder on the owner operators and the small fleets to get out there because, again, it's just there's just no reason for this. I feel like it would do more harm than good. That's my stance. I vehemently reject this. Again, the FMCSA, what can we do to fix the industry as opposed to adding more red tape to this? Because that is exactly what it is. It's more red tape. And it is brought by more unelected bureaucrats that have no idea what it takes to run a trucking company. Very, very accurate. Very accurate. Trust me when they will circle back under the anger and disguise bunch of fucking clowns. Gosh, I really wish who LinkedIn user was, and I wish I could see this because I 100% agree with you. We should not have any more red tape. That fucking ELDs is enough as is. All right. It's enough as is. Again, that article was from Freight Waves. Yes, it's just another disguise to just continue to beat down the little guy. And again, brokers, if you're listening to this, this affects you no matter what. Rules that are applied to the trucking community have a direct effect on how you operate as a broker, whether you want to agree with that or not. All right. Third and final article is from FreightWaves as well. The quest to get truck drivers to stop worrying and love the ELD. Truck drivers said this technology makes their job worse. Let me see here. Controversial trucking technology. Isaac Instruments, Reed Truck Lines. Thank you, Reed Truck. Jeremy Reed. Oh, what's up, dude? I don't know why it says LinkedIn user for you. You usually showed up in the comments. That's very true. You are probably being censored, as am I from what I can see on LinkedIn in particular. Everywhere else is skyrocketing in downloads except LinkedIn. Isaac Instruments. Let me see. Other ELD manufacturers include. All right. ELD sounds like a smart way to boost safety on the roads, especially for overworked truck drivers. However, many drivers do not like the advice. And let me see. Here's why the ELDs are controversial. As a rule, many simply dislike having a piece of monitoring technology as they work. As one trucker recently told them, having the government monitor every move for days and weeks on end. There's also the fact that hours of service regulations don't match with the driver's typical workday. Drivers are paid per mile, not per hour. And a truck driver might spend, let me see here, that eats into the 14-hour working day mandated by the government that's out there. It also worsened the already challenging issue of truck parking. Previously, a truck driver may have parked at a lot for a few hours to get some rest during the day, but having to work through one's 14-hour day means the driver want to work through the day and sleep throughout the night. Then it goes into truck parking being an issue. Let me see here. Before the ELD mandates, a truck driver, Skylar Young, said the drivers weren't racing the clock. It was more of a, we'll get there when we get there. Now it's hurry up and get there no matter what. It's a race against the clock. And on the other hand, there are some benefits from this new law. Drivers say saw an unusual pay increase that was out there, and trucking technology could halt bad litigation. One point I certainly learned in Quebec. All right, let me see here. Blah, blah, blah. Such evidence is more than sober called nuclear verdicts are sweeping. As CNBC reported, when considering verdicts of more than $1 million, the average size increased nearly 1,000% out there. And the trucking industry blames overactive lawyers and plaintiffs for the nuclear verdicts. But as a plaintiff attorney, Michael Leiserman previously told FreightWaves nuclear injuries are on the rise as well. All right. ELDs can help with training. All right, let's go here. There's some confusion around the technology. Some of the pushback on ELDs around the fact that this technology may not be intuitive for most drivers. And all right, I don't have further insight. I just found it interesting how much we okay. All right. And goodbye, way stations. Hold on. This company, this is okay. It's probably not enough to get truck drivers to embrace their ELDs. As I have received probably north of 1,000 emails from truck drivers about their dislike for the mandate, some early research indicates that their reservations have a basis in fact. A 2020 study published compared crash counts and driver inspections before the ELD. Okay. However, the structure hours of sorry guys, I'm just skimming through this because I don't see anything in here that backs up the title of the article really at all, unless I'm missing something here. The quest to get truck drivers to stop worrying about and love the ELD. Yeah, I think that was just a catchy headline that I got duped on this because I'm not seeing any valuable information put in there about swaying one way or another outside of saying drivers don't like the ELD mandates, which, the drivers that I've talked to, I've gotten a mixed bag of results from it. Some of them enjoy it. Some of them not so much. I think that at the end of the day, the ELDs aren't going anywhere. And that's one of those ones that aren't going to change. We don't need, the FMCSA should actually stop fucking lobbying for everything that they did with that previous article about there on the electronic ID. Like, we don't need that. Like, the last time I checked, this was America. And we don't need any more of that. Like, the ELDs should have that. You don't need another device in there. You don't need to give anybody any further reason to stop and put somebody out of business for that. You know, again, the FMCSA just announced a couple weeks ago that they're not liable for anything, right? Like, that's out there. I got receipts for that. I broke down that article. They wanted to remove themselves from it, that it's not their job to monitor carriers as what they put out there. It's everybody else. C.H. Robinson, Bob Beiserfield, the CEO, put out a really good article about that entire thing on one of the past episodes that I broke down. So again, FMCSA, do your job, please. Do something. Fucking A. Anyways, that's it for today, you guys. I got it. I got in. Louis Montano, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining me here. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow, though. You guys, the Freight Coach Morning Show. We are the top morning show in transportation. And as always, you guys, if you saw value in this, share the show. Because at the end of the day, if you guys see value in it, chances are your network's going to see value in it. And that's how we're going to continue to grow this out and reach more and more people of transportation professionals. Because again, you guys, anybody who appears on my stuff is from the industry. And that is what we need. We need more industry professionals talking about what they're doing in their active day-to-day businesses and everything. So that's it, you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And we'll be talking to you soon.